List some of the things Arsenal and Arsenal fans are apparently not allowed to do. Celebrate goals, score from corners, score from free kicks, score from set pieces, post pre-game promotional videos, sing a song before the start of the match, go to football games with our girlfriends, call our players good, launch club merchandise, kick the ball away by an inch, point out unjust red cards, be asked a question about the ball in an interview, and in the same interview, it being framed as if we were complaining that we lost because of the ball. Support our football club. Allowed to dry the ball with a towel before a throw-in. Sign defenders. Play football with the handbrake on. Call out the abuse that Saka gets from rival fans. Draw a game of football. Have a dog. And play a 15-year-old. Now, I can go on for hours and hours.
I don't want to have a dog one sent me. Have a dog. You can't have a dog. Sorry, I'm gonna let Ore finish here. I think his name's Ore. Brilliant guy. Let's take a listen.
This list could be longer and wider than it already is, but we'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there for now. And you know what? Instead of leaving it there, I'm just gonna show you this. If you are a chronically online Arsenal fan like I am, you will know exactly what this is. This may go way over a lot of people's heads, but there was a tweet made by an...
I don't know what this is. This is new to me. Because although there's a lot of rumours I'm an Arsenal fan, I'm not. I don't understand this. Let's take a little listen.
Arsenal fan on Twitter called Goonaret in May 2024, and the tweet said, I feel like when it comes to Arsenal, people are stupid on purpose.
Go check out Ore's channel. We'll put a link in the comment section to go support my guy over there. And I saw this clip, and you will know that I love a bit of football banter. I love fans having a pop at each other. I like a little dig here and there, but I feel there's a time and a place. And you've had your fun, but now let's get into serious football conversation. That's how me and my friends have been since we were kids, how me and my family have been my whole life. I thought that was how most people discuss football. I've noticed with Arsenal since the summer of 2022, Arsenal derangement syndrome became a thing. And we'll go to that list again in a moment. But he's speaking facts. I have never seen such a visceral and physical and psychologically unwell response to Arsenal doing normal things, to a point where I think some of us have even been gaslit into believing at times, maybe they've got a point. Coaches running onto the pitch, scoring a last-minute winner. Maybe that is a little bit too much. Maybe you should just go down the tunnel and not celebrate and show no emotion. Maybe they were right. I think we've all had little moments. Even Arsenal fans have had moments where, should I be happy right now? I don't know. Should I be? The derangement has been crazy. And I've seen, in fairness, I've defended Chelsea quite a bit. They've gone through very similar. Liverpool in this last summer or so, I've seen a similar approach towards them, and I think it's absolutely horrendous, and I've called it out. Of course, when the lies are spread about Manchester United or mistruths are given, I've done exactly the same thing, because that's why this series exists, Killing the Game. Because I think this nonsense takes away from the game, kills the passion of the game. It even stops fans from wanting to celebrate. And we saw Maresca very brilliantly kind of propped up and celebrated and famed last week for his last-minute winning celebration against Liverpool, the way the fans reacted to it, fans online. We've all seen the watch-alongs of people going crazy, the bars all around the world, people going crazy. We need more of this. We just need to ensure that we're not gatekeeping and saying, well, Chelsea become world champions in the last 12 months, therefore they can do it. But Man United haven't won a trophy now for over 12 months, haven't won the league in over a decade, therefore you and your fans can't do it. I think we need to draw a line here because it's become crazy. But let's get back to this list again, right? Because it's from a longer piece of content. You can see it at the end there. I say we'll put a link in the description for the channel. But let's just take a little. By the way, like, subscribe, hype the video up, get that done. Let's take a look to the beginning part of this again. Let's go back to the beginning.
Here is a long list of some of the things Arsenal and Arsenal fans are apparently not allowed to do. Celebrate goals.
We all know this is a fact. When Arsenal celebrate goals, cringe for celebrating that. What have you won? What a trophy. Oh my God, you went over the top. Get down the tunnel. Forbes did a think piece on Arsenal celebrating. This is a fact. Getting ridiculed for celebrating goals? Mad.
Score from corners.
The amount of people I see angry that Arsenal were good at set pieces, it's the strangest, to a point where all you ever hear now, yeah, but talk about open play. Talk about open play. Being good at set pieces has got to a point, because Arsenal were good at it, that people want set pieces to be removed from footballing conversations.
Score from free kicks.
We don't need to go into that. But again, even as recently as Ward-Prowse celebrated for being good at free kicks, Arsenal have some good free kicks going. Yeah, but what did you do from open play? In fairness, Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo have also been subjected to a lot of that nonsense. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, and I push back on all of these for fairness. Or just spams the ball into the box. You mean crosses accurately to find an opponent, or crosses accurately to a dangerous area? Nah, just hit and hope. Crazy.
Score from set pieces.
Well, we've already touched on that. We'll move forward.
Pre-game promotional videos.
That was one that really threw me. Newcastle have done some amazing pre-game promos. I've seen some amazing ones, and everybody goes, oh, that's so good. Arsenal do it. Cringe. Why are you doing it? Rubbish. The only thing I think Arsenal should have been criticised for last season for pre-game promos, their TiVo was really bad. The TiVo was awful. That should have been called out.
Sing a song before the start of the match.
Again, I don't know why it makes so many people so angry. You need to let me know.
Go to football games with our girlfriends.
This one really made me laugh because, again, I don't really watch any of the before or after footage of what goes on at Arsenal because I'm not an Arsenal fan. But I remember how angry people got. Then there was this story that Arsenal were going to sort of start some kind of dating element as part of their Arsenal TV show. And I remember seeing Gooners go mad. And I sat back as an outsider thinking, one, man and woman, they're having a dance. I remember seeing the video, a dance and a smooch and a kiss and enjoying the game. If that triggers you, I think you need help. If that makes you angry, I think you need love. I think you need a hug. I think you need a kiss. I think you need something. I think football isn't for you if things like that are making you angry. And what I mean by football isn't for you, I mean it in the sense of you need to seek another type of hobby that makes you happy, pottery, something, because crazy. Equally, the club wanting to launch a kind of dating show that, from their perspective, may create more viewers of their TV channel, which means they make more money, which means they can buy better players, keep the better players. I don't see why any Arsenal fan would be upset by that.
Call our players good.
Cool. It is true. It is true that when Saka's called good, very good, world class, it's met with crazy. And we saw last night with Don. Don spent 2 or 3 years saying you can't call Saka X, Y, and Z until he's done this in the Prem and done this in the Champions League. When asked why he doesn't apply that same logic to his own players, says, well, I just think my guy's better. Love it.
Launch club merchandise.
Yeah, that I think the club merchandise triggers more the Arteta outers. They hate that for some reason. But yet, nearly one of the most ironic things you see is Arsenal fans who hate Arteta moaning about all the merch while sitting there wearing Arsenal clothing. Amazing.
Kick the ball away by an inch. Point out unjust red cards.
Don't you dare, Arsenal, point out unjust red cards. Don't you dare call for consistency from the PGMOL. Don't you dare do what everybody else does.
Be asked a question about the ball in an interview, and in the same interview, it being framed as if we were complaining that we lost because of the ball.
I think the Carabao Cup that happened and the Premier League ball with Raya, one with Arteta, one with Raya, where they were both asked, is the ball different? Is it hard? Is it difficult? And they essentially said, yeah, it's new. We've got to adapt to it. It doesn't do the same as the other balls we play with, but that's life. And it was reframed by those same media companies like they were complaining about the ball. But again, rivals, I get why rivals wouldn't. They jumped on it. But it's the Arteta outers, the Arsenal fans who hate their own club, who jumped on it like a bitch in heat without the context and slammed their own club. It was weird.
Support our football club.
He doesn't need any real breakdown, but he is right. People do get angry about Arsenal doing it.
Allowed to dry the ball with a towel before a throw-in.
Yeah, you remember the Newcastle game? They stopped Arsenal from using a towel, even though everybody else is using towels again now. Long throws have become a thing, but it was only a problem when Arsenal were doing it. It's very weird.
Sign defenders. Play football with the handbrake on. Call out the abuse that Saka gets from rival fans. Draw a game of football.
Just really funny as well. Like the famous scene from AFTV where they're clapping the draw. No, not all clapping the draw. It was more so James. I get some people wanted to win the football match. People make it sound that the funniest bit is since then, and this is why you know it's an Arsenal derangement syndrome. That since then, multiple clubs and players that criticize Arsenal for celebrating draws have been happy with draws or played for draws, and no one has called it out. Again, mountains, molehills comes to mind.
Have a dog.
The dog thing's a little, no one say strange. The dog one, I do get very out there, but I'm a dog person. I'm an animal person. I really don't think it's as deep as people are making out.
And play a 15-year-old.
The Wanieri one was crazy. We called it out then, we call it out again. Now, the way that was twisted into, it's not about the player, it's not about his life, it's not about his career, it's all about Arteta. And people have had an issue since then with any young player that Arteta plays. The way last year, Miles Lewis-Skelly and Wanieri were dragged through the mud. Oh, they're not very humble boys. That's why they're being kept out the dressing room. When the real reason they were being kept out the dressing room is because they're children, they're minors, and weren't allowed to change clothing in front of men. But that was a crazy one.
Now, I can go on for hours and hours. This list could be longer and wider than it already is.
And I think he's onto one here. And look, this is the issue for me. And I know a lot of you have already written your comments and gone, Terry, but there is banter in this. Fans are allowed to banter each other. And I agree. My problem is the mainstream media. They've taken the football banter, the banterverse, and they've gone, let's turn this into real analysis. And top class, respected ex-pros, and then drumming this bullshit that we considered banter for decades. They're now drumming it into our ears as this is bad for you. Celebrating that way is bad for your club. Having a dog, bad for your club. Calling your players good, bad for your club. Doing this without winning anything, bad for your club. They keep pushing this in. So fans have stopped thinking about this as banter and they're pushing it as real analysis. That, for me, is something that is killing the game. And it's why it features on this show. And, of course, with Arsenal going into the international break top of the league, the Arsenal derangement syndrome soars like never before. And heaven forbid, Gooners, you manage to win your next 4 games and then maybe even create a little bit of a gap at the top between City and Liverpool and yourselves. Be prepared for more of it. Be prepared for more of it. It isn't going to go away, especially from the mainstream media. But look, go check out Ore. I think it's Ore's gentleman's name. If I said that wrong, I really do apologize. It's just how it reads to me. But I am dyslexic, so I don't always read so good. But I'll put a link to his channel in the live chat. Go check it out, people. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.